This session is for OCR FP1. The topic is series, and we're looking at January 2011 question 4. So the question says, given that sigma from 1 to n of AR cubed plus BR is equivalent to n upon n minus 1 upon n plus 1 upon n plus 2, find the values of A and B. So we need to start with this series that we've got here. Sigma AR cubed plus BR, where R goes from 1 to n. So the first thing to remember is that you can split your sigmas and write that as sigma R cubed, A lots of sigma R cubed from 1 to n, plus B sigma R again from 1 to n. And what we need to do at this stage now is to substitute in the formula for sigma R cubed. And that formula comes from the formula book. You don't need to learn it, so I have written it out here. So I'm going to substitute that in. an squared upon n plus 1 all squared over 4. And the next one, sigma R, is one that you are meant to learn yourself, that sigma R from 1 to n is n upon n plus 1 over 2. So that is an expression now for sigma AR cubed plus BR. And what we need to do now is compare that with what we've got on the right hand side. So in order to do that, what I am going to do is I'm going to take out a common factor of n upon n plus 1. So you need to notice here that there is n upon n plus 1 is common to those two terms. So I'm going to take it out as a common factor. So that leaves us with an a n upon n plus 1. And if we also at the same time take a common denominator of 4, then over here we will have a 2b. So just check that that seems okay. So we haven't changed anything. We've still got this first term, and we've still got the second term, bn upon n plus 1 over 2. But that now we're told is equivalent to n upon n minus 1 upon n plus 1 upon n plus 2. And what we need to notice here is that we have, now that I've taken this common factor out, n upon n plus 1, we also have an n and an n plus 1 over here. So what we're going to do is we're going to compare coefficients. So the coefficient on the left is a n upon n plus 1 plus 2b over 4, and on the right the coefficient is equal to n minus 1 upon n plus 2. So those two things must be the same. So looking at this over here, we want to try and find the value of a, and on the left we have an squared. So if we're taking the n squared terms, on the left we have an squared over 4. So the coefficient is a over 4, and on the right the coefficient of our n squared is just going to be equal to 1. So looking at that, that tells us that a must be equal to 4. And we now need to find b. So b is the constant term. So if we're looking at the constant term, then over here we have 2b over 4, or b over 2, and over here the constant is minus 2. So that implies that b is equal to minus 4. So we now have our constants a and b. And if we just have a look at how the marks are awarded for this, then you got a statement mark here for remembering the sum sigma r. You got a method mark for expressing it as the sum of two parts. You know, you've got your sigma r cubed and your sigma r. And you got an accuracy mark if you got this correct. So 3 marks for that first bit. You then got a method mark for comparing these coefficients of n upon n plus 1, and an accuracy mark for each of your values. So 6 marks in total. So don't forget, if you want to look at further revision videos, then do that by going to the Further Maths website and following the link.